spiritual initiative happening in East Austin. So stay with us for Austin Faith Dialogue.
This is Austin Faith Dialogue, a public affairs program discussing the important crossroad of religion in life, produced by Austin Metropolitan Ministries in cooperation with KTBC TV. Austin Faith Dialogue highlights the interaction of the religious community with the social and cultural issues throughout our area. Now, today's edition of Austin Faith Dialogue.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. I'm Sandy Wilder, your host, and our three guests today are Reverend Don Brewington, who's chaplain at Houston-Tillotson College, and two Houston-Tillotson College students, Aaron Rogers and Melvin Dillard. Good to have all you guys.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
Don, we're going to talk today about a project, first of all, about a project that your office has gotten some grant funds for that these two guys are involved in. So can you tell us how the grant funds came about and what the project is trying to do?
Sure. Grant project came about, I guess, about a year ago. We decided that we needed to come up with something to help our males on campus to develop leadership skills, etc. I came up with a proposal and submitted that proposal to IST, Ethnic In-Service Training, which is a part of the national church body of the United Methodist Church.
United Methodist.
United Methodist, right. And was approved. The title of the project is African American Males in Society, Empowering, or rather empowerment through self-actualization and education. While we are using the term African American males, we'd also like to make it clear that we also are inclusive of our Hispanic students on campus.
Okay.
The program essentially was designed and developed to help develop leadership skills within the men who are participating in the project. We do, as a result, become involved with community from time to time, and it is an effort and a desire to serve community. But at the same time, realistically, because the program is developed, or the project is developed for the benefit of the participants, it's also a way, by getting involved, by doing, that those leadership skills are developed within the participants.
So it's not just service outside the campus community, it's to really grow some leaders within campus ministry.
Yes.
Okay, and
yes.
Fortunately we've got two of the leaders this morning. Let's introduce you guys to the viewers. Aaron, where are you from and what are you majoring in at Houston-Tillotson?
I'm from Long Beach, California, excuse me, and I'm majoring in, I have a double major of physical education and sociology.
And how come you're interested in this particular project? What is it that appeals to you?
Well, the project is it's a betterment of men in general, and I foresee myself making it and want to do better and do something for the community, and getting involved in this program I think will help me out a lot in doing so.
I expect you're right. And so, Melvin, you're another one of the 12 participants, right?
That's right.
Where are you from and what are you majoring in at Houston-Tillotson?
I'm from Houston, Texas, and I'm a government major.
And what was it about this African American Men in Society project that really turned you on?
Well, I tend to notice that folks can influence others either negatively or positively. And I figure if I'm going to be any kind of influence on someone, I'd rather influence them positively. So I joined the program to enhance some of the leadership qualities that I might possess.
And what, since the project is just new this semester, what has it done so far? I know we're just a little ways into the school year, but maybe it's put on a project?
Well, actually we have. We came together and we sat down and we did a convocation for the Million Man March to go in conjunction with the Million Man March. And it turned out pretty successful. I mean, we had no idea that we would get the turnout that we had that morning.
So describe to us, what did you get? What was the turnout and what happened?
Well, for one, I mean, the turnout was so large that we had fire marshals to come, for one, to say that we had too many people, but things went smoothly. And we had no idea whatsoever that we were going to have that many people there. And it was a blessing. I mean, everything went okay. Things rolled on schedule and on time, and and we got the news coverage and the media out, and we got our point across, and it turned out very beautiful.
And the point that you were trying to get across was?
I think primarily the point was to recognize and to celebrate with those who were marching in Washington, the solidarity and unity of an African American people, and especially the fact that after a time when African American males can come together in significant numbers, it makes a statement, and it was a reason to celebrate. And on our campus, as they were saying, it was overwhelmingly good, overwhelmingly well done. The number of men from Austin who showed was just astounding. It was in conjunction with another group in the city, but would like to state that the young men who are part of AMIS, African American Males in Society, they sat down and actually developed the entire program from beginning to end. They selected the participants for that event, and they did an outstanding job. For me, it was a joy. We talk about developing leadership skills. I think Novi Melvin sort of stated it best when he said to enhance leadership skills within, because what I noticed in the planning of that event, that we have students who possess the leadership skills, and sometimes what it really is about is helping them to really develop them and polish them up a little bit.
Well, it occurs to me to wonder, because on any college campus there are lots of different kinds of groups, service groups, civic groups, scholastic groups, and so on. I wonder what difference it made for this observance of the Million Man March that it was this AMIS group that organized the event, rather than, say, a civic group. Did it make a difference in how things turned out, do you think?
I think so, in the fact that, I mean, that's what this group is about. It's about, again, enhancing the men and making us better in the community. And for us to come up and show up and put on a program like this and have the turnout that we did, and the way things rolled off, and it showed our leadership, and then it coincided with the whole atmosphere of the Million Man March and what that was about, and it just kind of, everything kind of coincided together.
A great start to the year. What do you see then, Melvin, happening, say, in the next several months? Because I imagine the group won't do just the Million Man March observance. What else do you have planned or at least thought about?
Well, we have specific proposals that we're to come up with, the individuals within the group, and we're going to be working with East Austin high schools, and we have a review board who will sit down after we submit our proposal, and if it's acceptable, then we'll be allowed to carry out that proposal.
And what are some of the things that you're proposing at this point, or maybe ideas you're kicking around?
It's, for myself, I mean, because it's like an individual thing, I hadn't really got anything set in stone, but I plan to do like a video presentation with some of the high school kids instead of just coming out and talking to them, because that's been done. And I just want to, like, maybe a skit or some kind of direction, you know, production type ordeal.
Well, if you could put together, say, any topic you wanted to, what would you think would be important for these guys to hear?
Well, I mean, there are many issues facing high school students. I think I would like to focus towards the high school males and, like, maybe some of the issues. I haven't really developed a specific one, but maybe some of the issues are the importance of staying in school. We know teen pregnancy is a problem. I mean, just various issues, whichever one I feel is the most pertinent to them, that would be more beneficial to them.
Okay, yeah, you've got a lot of possibilities with that. And Aaron, if this is a self-directed kind of project, your next step here, what do you see you doing?
Again, he said a skit, and I'd been kind of kicking that about, and some sort of a play or a skit to also, and I was going to implement it toward, though, the elementary school, and I kind of wanted to, the topic, I think it's good to start young and to get problems, settle problems, and before they become a big problem, to start at a young age. And so to go into the elementary school And probably, I was thinking of the drug problems that's going on, that's become so big in our community, and just some sort of skit or show or something like a play maybe toward the elementary group about drugs.
Again, a lot of possibilities with that. I wonder if the funders of this particular African American Males in Society project, what are their expectations about what the participants will be able to do or what they will have learned during the year?
What are their expectations? What I submitted to them is that at the end of the year that they would have developed leadership skills. They would be exhibited through the fact that they would have done this proposal and actually executed a designed plan with a targeted audience exhibiting those leadership skills. I would think that they would like to get some feedback in the final report that actually happened, and hopefully that each and every project that each individual participant will do will be not only good, but will be effective and will impact those that they are targeting or communicating with.
Okay. So measurement will be important. Well, Melvin, how might, during the course of this year in this particular project, how would you see yourself measuring your growth in leadership skills? You know, how will you be different from who you are now at the end of the year?
I mean, that should be easy. I should feel different about certain issues. I mean, I should also have a higher level of responsibility, and instead of taking the attitude of just letting things go, I mean, I should be the first to speak out against something if I feel it's wrong. I mean, basically, for me to measure my growth, I mean, I should feel different about certain issues. Just,
Okay.
I mean, just how my reaction is to how certain things happen.
So sort of like taking the initiative
Yes.
to say something or to do something? Okay, you're right. That should be very easy to measure. And what about you, Aaron? How will you sort of measure the changes in you during the course of the year?
Well, the one thing that stuck out when we met was that what we have to do, we can't give up on it. And when we make our proposal, and if something for some reason is wrong within the proposal, we'll get it back, and we have to redo it and submit it again and again until it gets right. And then if it isn't right at the end, we'll get some help to do it. And I think that plays a big factor because it shows some endurance, and that we have to continue doing, once we start something, continue to do it until it's done right. And if we can't get it right ourselves, get some help to do it right. So that I think that I see that as helping me out a lot. And once I start something, to do it and make sure it's done right. And again, to get some help if I can't do it myself. So.
Exactly. A good lesson for life.
Right.
Not just participation in this project. We'll come back in just a minute with some more questions. Now, stay tuned, and we'll tell you a little bit about Austin Metropolitan Ministries.
Serving Austin means serving you. That has always been the primary goal of Austin Metropolitan Ministries. We are religion in action through the work of these organizations. Each plays a key role in making the capital city a better place to live, but we can't do it alone. Do you have some spare time, talents, or any resources that you can share? If you do, please call AMM at 472-7627, because serving Austin means serving you.
It's good to have you on Austin Faith Dialogue. And in the second half of the show, we'll continue our conversation with Reverend Don Brewington from Houston-Tillotson College, campus chaplain, and with two Houston-Tillotson students. We have Melvin Dillard and Aaron Rogers. It's good to have you guys. We've been talking about the project that just got funded this year at Houston-Tillotson, African American Males in Society. And I wonder now, even though the project's only been going on for a few months, what kind of difference do you think the campus can see in you guys, or your families can see in you guys? What do you think, Aaron? What differences do other people notice in you?
Well, being that we're a group of men, it's not often that you find men, especially black men, that want to stand out and do something for their community. And on the Houston-Tilton campus, that we want to make a change and want to make a difference in the community, and that we want to join together and to learn how to better ourselves. I mean, we meet every second and fourth Thursday, and we have different people come in to talk to us and to better ourselves in life and after college. And we've had bankers come in and show us how to manage our money and to budget. And it makes a difference as far, with me personally, to want to make that change and do something within my community.
So already you can feel yourself inspired and
Right.
changed. Hmm?
Right.
Okay. And Melvin, what would you say that people see as a difference in you, either folks on campus or folks in your family?
I think our group gives the people of the campus like an outlet to voice their opinions about certain issues that they probably couldn't do individually. I mean, like, for example, we've had several people come up to us where we'd like to see your group address this issue, you know, a campus issue and what have you. And I think we afford that possibility to others who wouldn't ordinarily have a chance to voice how they feel about things. They let us address them for them.
And it sounds as if the project is actually a kind of a safe space for you guys to speak up and to learn and grow.
That's right.
If you were going to evaluate, at this point, evaluate how the project has gone just a few months into it, what would you say about how it's gone well, or maybe not quite what you expected?
It's going very well. More than I expected, to a large degree. The Million Man March was a nice jump start. It was something that perhaps was not totally planned. It sort of happened for us. And to see, it was an opportunity to see the leadership skills already within the individuals who are participating. As Melvin has mentioned, we have been approached to be a group that could lead in a discussion group for others. Out of that, we've also discovered that there are some things that we need to work on. We can, have the best laid plans that don't always work. But as things begin to unfold, we can see where the needs are. So as a result of that, actually the project or program is expanding a little bit.
How so?
That's good. Well, we did the Million Man March. And at the Million Man March, one of our students got up and he had...
I think we know who it is.
He had written out a beautiful statement in terms of an opening. And as he sat down, he said, I didn't do anything that was on paper. And out of that concern, we are seeking to actually implement something similar to a Toastmasters, or close to it, in an effort to help our participants be ready to speak. And regardless to how many people are out there, what do we do with that energy, that's nervous energy, and how do we make it work for us? And that's good. It was, and I could appreciate the individual being honest and open with that, and also acknowledging that, yes, it's something that I need, and it's something that there are others who need the same thing. So it's good. I think it's been great.
Sounds like it's really energized the total program. I wonder what you guys would say to someone who's, perhaps in junior high, a young man who's in junior high. What would you say to such a young man about his possibilities and what he's going to need to know to make it, to really use his skills? What would you say, Aaron, to a young man like that?
I think the biggest thing now is to stay in school, stay in the books, keep your mind on what you want to do. I mean, set your goals. And at that age, I know it's kind of, they're into other things that in school and maybe books and grades is not on their mind. But that's, again, the perfect age where they need to start thinking about those things and just keep their mind in focused on their goals that they have set and continue to strive toward those goals until they reach them.
There you go, the voice of experience here from you. And Melvin, what advice would you give to a young man about that age?
I'd like to say for them not to let their environment be an excuse for their failure, basically. I mean, a lot of folks have had bad luck, you know, down on their life and what have you, but they've risen. I mean, so they shouldn't allow, just because they live in a certain area of town or what have you, hinder them from becoming what they can really become.
I think they'd hear that. I do. And sort of related to that, but based on your own personal experiences, this African American Males in Society project is part of the campus ministry office, right? For each of you, how has your own personal faith influenced what you're doing now? You know, you're growing up, say, within the church, or maybe not within the church, in California or in Houston. How has your faith brought you to where you are?
Well, me, I have a strong background in the church. My dad is a minister, so I was brought up in the church. And this group was when I got on campus, was pretty much the first and only group that I associated myself with. And I wasn't really looking. I mean, my point and goal was to get into the books, do what I had to do, you know. And I wasn't really gonna get involved with any of the social clubs or the groups or anything like that. And I mean, I visited the chapel, and after talking to Reverend Brewington, this group was something that I saw myself getting into to betterment myself. And I also saw, I mean, it was a Christian group, so that helped and made Dad proud, probably. But I mean, it also, again, it's something that is going to help me out in the future too. So that's why I saw myself getting into the group.
And I assume vice versa, that you're going to help the group out. I can tell that your background is going to make a difference for the group. Melvin, how has your growing up, your faith growth, influenced where you are now?
Well, when I was first approached about the group, initially I was afraid. And I asked myself, why was I afraid? And I think basically I just didn't want the responsibility. And I thought of an old passage, I mean, that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I figured, well, if it gets to be too much for me, then, I mean, there'll be a way. So instead of going into it half-heartedly, I told Reverend Brewington, well, let me think about it for a week or so, get it right in my mind, because I didn't want to jump into it half-heartedly and not give it my best effort. And after a while, I realized it's something that I could have gotten into, and with the Lord, I jumped right in, and I'm glad I did.
You guys both have really powerful witnesses to the influence of your faith and this group on your life. What have you seen happening in your campus ministry program as a result of these guys and the others in the AMIS group?
There at Chapel, in terms of an overall effect in campus ministry, I would like to believe that people can begin to understand that campus ministry is, yes, it's religious, it's spiritual, but it's more than just coming and worshiping and praying all day and leaving, but that we are concerned about the total individual, because if we're concerned about just the spiritual, then we are not going to be effective with persons. In terms of impacting campus ministry, these guys have been, Melvin has been a part of campus ministry in one form or another for 3 years now, I think, since I've been there. Aaron comes in, he's in chapel, and I guess that was my impetus for approaching, you know, and saying, hey, you want to be a part of this group? This is what we are about. This is what we're doing. But by and large, for the larger campus impact, I would like to think the impact is that we're open to everybody, that we are a campus ministry, and regardless to what one's faith perspective is, that we're there to minister, regardless. We're there to minister to your spiritual needs. If there are other concerns or problems, we are there to help deal with that. And we're concerned about your intellectual growth, your leadership growth, and all of those things that make you a complete person.
That's a much broader definition of campus ministry than some of us may be used to.
I think so. I would like to think that we're going to broaden our minds and perspectives and come on out and get involved. Even more so, yeah.
I can tell you're a preacher. We've got a few seconds left. Maybe each of you would like to just sort of sum up what difference the African American Males in Society project is making.
Well, I think it deals more with responsibility. We've become more responsible individuals, and hopefully others see that and come out next year and be a part of the organization.
I think we're making a betterment of ourselves and our community, and as the program goes on, we can continue to become stronger with each other.
Oh, we received a grant for 1 year. I'm glad to hear them talking in terms of coming out next year and being a part of the group. So I'm going to just believe that we're going to have a more than outstanding year, and that God's going to provide the means by which we can continue on next year and continue to impact our males on the Houston-Tillotson campus.
I dare say you all each will find a way, and God will find a way to make that happen. So thanks very much for the conversation today. It's good to know what's going on at Houston-Tillotson. And thank all of you for joining us to hear about a different and an exciting kind of initiative in East Austin. Keep your eyes on these young men. And do join us again next week for the next edition of Austin Faith Dialogue.
Call Austin Metropolitan Ministries at 472-7627.